Welcome, everybody. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Here we are in the Psychology of Eating podcast, and I'm with Alexandra today. Welcome, Alexandra.
Hi, very honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad we're doing this, and I know you've watched a podcast before, so you know one of my favorite questions to ask is if you could wave your magic wand and get whatever you want with food and body or your relationship with those, what would that be for you?
That'd be 100% recovered from binge eating and overeating, and to have a more peaceful relationship with food, not think about it all the time. Very clear.
So how long would you say you've not been recovered? How long has the problem been here?
I'm almost recovered, I think. I'm almost, but not 100%. I don't binge anymore, but I kept thinking about food. I keep thinking about food and have kind of a relationship that it's not healthy. Because I kind of still use food as an emotional support, as to cope with my life, to cope with loneliness, to cope as an excitement. And so it's not a peaceful relationship as I want it to be.
So how often would you say you find yourself in moments? Let's say, how many times during the day would you say, "Oh, I'm thinking a bad thought about this," or "I'm in some stress around food," or "I'm eating for emotions," or "I'm just thinking thoughts that aren't good for me"? Once a day, 10 times a day? What would you guess?
Not 10 times, but like twice. Yeah. Twice a day, 3 times a day. Yeah.
So you're not really binge eating these days, but you might still turn to food for just to help you manage your internal experience. Is that true?
I try not to do that because I have like a meal plan. I want to follow because I have a tendency to restrict and to jump some meals and not having them. Yes. And so I have a meal plan I have to follow, with having breakfast and lunch and dinner and a small snack in the afternoon. And I have to eat my triggers, my trigger foods. Like I have to eat cookies, I have to eat bread, I have to eat cakes, and to keep it normal in my life, not a big thing.
Yes. Okay. So how old are you, Alexandra?
I'm 42.
42. And you're from where originally?
I'm from Leiria.
In Portugal?
In Portugal, yes.
And that's where you are right now?
Now I live in Lisbon.
Yes. Wonderful. So when did you first notice? How old were you when you first noticed something's going on with me and food?
I noticed when I was about 18, 19. It started more frequently after my parents' divorce. And I started to live on my own. I was 17, and it became my comfort, and it became my safety, and I use food for that. Yeah.
Yes. So are you married or in a relationship?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship for 10 years, and I have an 8-year-old boy, a son. And I'm a flight attendant too.
Okay. And how does are you interested in losing weight?
always interested in losing weight. Yeah.
Okay. How much weight do you want to lose?
Yeah, not so much because I'm kind of in my natural weight, you know. If I eat normal, if I eat all the things that I supposed to eat and not restricting, but I want to lose about 7 kilos.
Okay. See, and if you lose 7 kilos, how much would you weigh?
About 58, 60.
Okay. And when was the last time you were at 58 to 60 kilos?
A long time.
Roughly.
But I had that weight maybe 3, 4 times in my life for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in love on my 19s and when I used drugs in my 20s, so, and slimming pills and doing a lot of restricting, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. How does your partner feel about your weight?
It's not a problem for him.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't see that extra weight I want to lose.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks I'm okay always.
Uh-huh. Well, that's very sweet.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So, what do you tell yourself when you're talking to you and you say, when I lose these 7 kilos, here's how I'm going to feel. Here's what's going to be different. Tell me what you tell yourself.
I think I create that obsession with that perfect weight. And when I'm thinner, I will be happy, you know. And I'm still stuck to that. And I still think about that. When I'm thinner, I will do everything. I will show up. I will step into my life with all my potential. I will be the real me. And I will feel joy, you know, because I'm always chasing that. I'm always thinking about that, to be thinner, to be lighter, to eat less, you know?
Yes. It seems to be so much part of the human condition. You know, so many people do that with weight and with, you know, their body shape or their looks. If only I weighed this, if only I looked like that, then everything's going to be great. I'm going to be the real me. For some people, it's when I have a certain amount of money. For some people, it's with, you know, when I have a certain kind of relationship. There's always this, or there's so often for people, this imaginary, once I get this thing in the outer world, this body, this salary, this job, this relationship, it's all going to change. It's just interesting to watch that so often and how it can stop us from being in the moment. So I've already got some thoughts for you, but I just want to ask a few more questions before I jump in. So where do you see your career going?
I have been flight attendant for 14 years, more, or about in other companies for 16, 17 years. But I'm kind of tired to be a flight attendant. Mm-hmm. And after being a mom, it makes me anxious. It makes me stressed when I go out, when I go fly. I'm chasing another career. I'm chasing to do something else with my life, more meaningful, you know, because I don't give me too much value for my job. Mm-hmm. And I feel that either with my family, They think I'm always traveling, and it's only the good thing, only in vacation mode. Always in vacation mode, and it's very easy, and it's not difficult. It has difficult parts, the shifts, the nights I don't sleep, the different schedules, but it's true. I want to do something else.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that, because I just had the thought, the inkling that there's some larger shifts that want to happen for you, that you want to happen for you. So let me share a few thoughts with you, just my impressions. The way we started out this conversation was you framed it as, I'm going to paraphrase you, but you want to feel that you're fully recovered. Yeah. And from binge eating, from overeating, from a relationship with food where you're always thinking, you're often thinking thoughts that aren't so great for you. And you mentioned that you're not binge eating anymore, but you still might overeat, or you're still thinking about controlling your diet and managing yourself.
Yes.
So here's what I want to suggest, and I want you to hang in here with me. I think that you are as fully recovered as most humans can be. So it's to me, you're about 92%, 93% recovered. So that's an A minus. That's a really good grade.
Yeah.
And I think what happens for you is because you still have the belief that when I lose 7 kilos, everything's going to be different. So that's the belief that's a holdover from your young years, from your teenage years. And you didn't invent that belief. So many people have that belief. If I have the perfect looks, the perfect body, this is the exact amount that I want to lose. You didn't say 5 kilos. You didn't say 10 kilos. It's 7 kilos, which is an interesting number. So when I lose this specific number, then woof, all this good magic is going to happen. Now, what happens is your relationship with food, your experience of food and your body every day is framed by that belief that's operating in the back of your mind. So the moment you're thinking of eating something that might be on your bad list or that you don't think you should be doing, you're measuring that against, this is going to interfere with me losing 7 kilos. So every thought or behavior that you have around food that you don't want right now, I'm thinking is being measured against, and it's probably just working in the back of your mind. It's all being measured against, I need to lose the 7 kilos because when I lose the 7 kilos, everything's going to be wonderful. So of course, I want to organize my life to lose the 7 kilos because I want a wonderful life. And if that's what's going to do it for me, this is easy.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Just lose the weight, and then I'm going to be this amazing person. So if you didn't have that belief, you would be, forgive me for the use of the word normal, you'd be a normal human being.
Yes.
Who thinks about food. Everybody thinks about food. You and I have to think about food. Why? Because we need to eat 2, 3, sometimes more times a day, snacks, meals. So we think about food. What am I going to eat? I'm hungry. What's good for me? What's going to give me energy? What do I have time to eat? Where am I going to eat? Every creature in nature is thinking about food. So that's what we do. The way you're thinking about food right now, once again, is measured against, I need to lose this 7 kilos. That's sort of that's your deity.
Yeah. And I'm always doing calculating, oh, I eat this and then I have to compensate. Oh, I eat more of this. So at the dinner, I don't have to eat more of, I cannot eat so much. I'm always counting, calculating. I'm always overthinking about that.
Yes, exactly. So if it was possible for me to somehow get into your head and just remove that thought, if I lose 7 kilos, everything's going to be wonderful, then things would be so much better.
Yeah.
Because then you would be looking at yourself differently. You would be thinking about food differently, and you can push the reset button on your relationship with food and just be a person who eats, who occasionally overeats, who occasionally emotionally eats. All human beings eat emotionally. We eat to celebrate. We eat to feel good. Yeah, you had a tough day and you want to turn to food. That's not so bad. We do that all the time. Food makes us feel good. We think there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with it when it gets in our way of living our life. But you're turning to food for emotional reasons. That's not your problem. In fact, it's not a problem. I think it's just part and parcel of being human. Sometimes we get tired. Being tired is not a problem. Being tired is just part of being human. You get tired at night, you go to sleep. You get tired during the day, you take a rest. So really what I think is happening is that this is your time in life to really look at the root cause of what is driving your unhappiness around food and what's driving all the chaotic thinking and all the bargaining and all the thoughts.
Yeah.
And the root is wanting to lose that 7 kilos. So my prescription for you, and I know this is easier said than done, but I think this is the way, is to take 3 or 4 months and make it your practice to let go of that belief and to make an agreement with yourself that for the next 3 to 4 months, you're going to just drop needing to lose 7 kilos. This is an experiment. It's just an experiment. I'm going to drop needing to lose 7 kilos. And every time you think that thought, go, no, I'm dropping that. I've been thinking that for years. I haven't really gotten there. The times I've gotten there, I was either very young or you were, doing drugs to help you do it. So, and even when you were at that weight, did it make you permanently happy? Did it make you the perfect you? No, it just changes.
Yeah.
So it's time for you to step into your mature woman self. You're operating that belief. When I look a certain way, then everything's going to be perfect. That's from the princess archetype. That's from the young teenage girl archetype.
Yeah.
Where we don't know ourselves yet. We're not confident. We're looking to the outside world to give us approval. And the outside world teaches you from a young age, you will get approval and you will be loved if you look perfect. So we're given that message by all different kinds of media. We're given it from the world. We absorb it. And that message is like a virus that doesn't work for us. And you and I can extract those things from ourselves, but it takes a little work. So it's really saying, so what I'm saying is that you actually don't really have a problem. Not the kind of problem you think you have.
Yeah.
Your relationship with food, to me, is a very normal relationship with food. I think about it. Yeah, I eat to feel good. I personally eat to feel good. Absolutely. I'm expecting food to make me feel good at every single meal. And a lot of times it does. I'm hungry. I eat food. It makes me feel good. I go to my favorite restaurant. I eat food. It makes me feel good. It's very dependable. So a part of you is not even allowed to let food make you feel good, because if you're not controlling food, you're not going to lose 7 kilos. And then you can't be the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
So you being the person that you want to be is dependent in your mind of losing 7 kilos.
Yeah.
Your husband doesn't care.
No,
He's fine.
No.
So I'm going to guess you're not trying to, have a dozen different boyfriends or lovers who are going to look and say, oh, she lost 7 kilos and now I want to be with her. So really, it's your time to dig a little deeper, I think.
Yeah, it has been a long time. It has been years restricting, dieting, thinking in losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, taking pills, doing exercise, and thinking about this. I think I'm used to think about this.
Yes.
I used to believe that I had an addiction to food, an addiction to sugar. For a long time, I see myself like this. Food was my drug. I use for everything, to cope loneliness, to fight, to have comfort, to have safety, to deal with life.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a while. I'm changing my mind and my thoughts about food. I'm struggling with that. I'm doing my journey, but with a lot of effort, and I wanted so much. I want so much to be healed and to not think this way. I've done everything since my 20s. I did law school because I want to change the world, but then I couldn't, and then I started with this behavior with food and so obsessed. But I was always trying to find out a solution, a way out. I did a fitness course to take care of my body and to exercise more. Yeah. I started to practice yoga, and I did everything, a lot of courses and trainings, and I sometimes I think of myself, I know so much. I tried so many things. Why I'm not there yet?
We're not there yet, wherever there means, because we're still growing and we're still learning.
Yeah.
And you're just still growing and you're still learning. But you've improved. You're better today than you were 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. So part of it is we need to acknowledge our success. We need to acknowledge, sometimes how far we've come. And for me, I want you to consider that you being healed doesn't mean that you no longer binge eat, or you no longer emotionally eat, or you no longer overeat, or you no longer turn to food to make you feel good. That does not mean that you're healed. And I really mean this. What means you're healed in many ways is that when you do those behaviors that I just mentioned, you're able to forgive yourself. You're able to allow it and move on and not punish yourself for it, not abandon yourself for it, and not structure the rest of your day because, oh, I just emotionally ate, so now I have to do this to compensate so I can be a good girl. Now I have to exercise more. Now I have to eat less. So it's none of that. It's allowing yourself to be imperfect. Allowing yourself to be somebody who sometimes overeats or sometimes emotionally eats.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes you're going to think about food. And yeah, sometimes you're going to think about wishing you could lose weight. But it's learning how not to indulge in the thought, in the belief that you've been believing a long time. So that belief that if I lose a certain amount of weight, everything's going to be great. That belief has been causes you to organize your life around that belief.
Yeah.
You organize your behaviors around that belief. You organize your thinking around that belief. You organize your eating around that belief. So that's the place that we need to go, that you need to go. And I know that it's hard. And I know that you're working hard. And that's good because it is hard work at different points. But I can say for sure that I've watched so many people come through what you're going through and what you've gone through and get to the other side where they're able to let go and relax for the first time. And it's not like they're going to be 100%. Yes, this is great. I love my body. This is all perfect. But if you start to get 60% there, 70% there, 80% there, like just get your head above water.
Yeah.
Then you start to be able to breathe more around all this. So it's you learning how to catch yourself when you have that thought and you making the choice that even though I don't know exactly how to do this, I'm committed to doing it. Because you're right when you said, I've been living this way for such a long time. It's a habit. And I like to mention that habits, particularly the negative ones, the ones we don't like, the ones we wish we didn't have, those kind of habits tend to be automatic. They're unconscious. They do themselves. So you don't have to think every morning when you wake up, okay, I need to have a challenging relationship with food today. And I need to think thoughts that are going to make me upset about food and make me upset about my body. No, it just runs itself. So whenever we have a habit that's automatic and unconscious, does itself, the only way to change that is by introducing consciousness, introducing awareness, introducing the light. I'm using those terms interchangeably.
Yeah.
It's invoking the part of you that says, this is an area where I need to wake up more. This is an area where I need to bring more awareness and bring more light, difficult as it is. And when you notice every day that you're starting to organize your thoughts around, oh, I just eat this, now I have to do that. I want you to think to yourself, this is the body that I have. I would love for you to pretend that this body right now is the body you're going to have for the rest of your life. And you should be so lucky. Really, it's you will never be as young and as beautiful as you are today.
Yes.
So I don't want to be speaking to you 10 years from now and you say to me, Marc, I look at a picture of me 10 years ago and I say, oh gosh, I look so great. What was my problem? What was I thinking?
And sometimes I do that. Sometimes I see old pictures and what weight I want to lose. And in that time, in that picture, I think the same. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight because I'm never there. And last summer, I see the picture. Oh, but I was good. I like me this way. What's the problem? And it's the same. That's it, what you say.
Yes. This is your time to think like a queen.
Yeah.
And the way a queen thinks is that she sits on her throne and she owns who she is. This is who I am. This is me. This is my looks. This is my body. This is my life. And I don't need to be different to love myself anymore. I don't need to be different. I don't need to be different for anybody else. And I know you're just trying to be different for you. But there's a part of us that believes that somehow the world is going to open up for us.
Yeah.
When we look a certain way. And honestly, the world doesn't care. Literally, the world doesn't care if you lose 7 kilos.
Yeah.
I still think you're a great person. I'm not going to change. Your husband's not going to change. Your son is not going to change. He's not going to go, oh, mommy, I like you so much better. Thank you for losing 7 kilos. Nobody cares. Like really?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to look at you and respect you anymore than they do right now. So a queen understands that. A queen understands that this is me. And how do I get present and let go of needing to be somebody so I can have approval from the outside or my own approval? So in other words, you need to just give yourself the stamp of approval and say, I approve of Alexandra. I approve of this body. Pretend that this is a body you're going to have for the rest of your life. Now go live your life.
Yeah.
Now put your energy into, okay, let's explore a new career. Let's explore new possibilities. Let's just take all that energy that goes into talking about food in your head. Let's put that energy into something that's going to be good for you.
Yeah.
So that's a practice. That's you claiming your inner woman. That's you claiming your inner queen. But she has to be claimed. You have to say to yourself, I wish to be that person. What are you thinking as I'm saying all this?
I think you're right. Everything you said, that's it. It's difficult for me to do it.
Yes.
But it's true. I have to do that, but it's kind of it's a step by step.
Yes.
I want it for yesterday, and I'm in a rush to conquer that, because I feel like I lost so much time for shortcuts and trying to fix me and hurting me and punishing me, that I'm in a rush to heal me and to be me, to be enough like I am and to accept me more. And so, but I know it's step by step. It's every day something, but sometimes I feel like I do a step forward and 2 backward, Mm-hmm. And I'm always like this: 1 forward, 2 backward, and then I don't quit. I never quit. It's like a dream I have to be that and to be healed, but I have to keep going.
Yes. So let me offer this. I think I know what you mean when you say, I want to be healed from this. Maybe those might not be the right words to use here, because there's a little bit of an implication in that you're still a little sick or diseased or a little broken. And instead, and I totally understand this because it's so often when we see what our challenge has been and we see where we've been putting all our mental energy and we see some of the life that we've lost or seemingly wasted because we weren't being who we could be, that, yeah, you'd want to be in a rush now. I totally understand that. If we looked at your relationship with food and your relationship with your body as just a part of your life that's teaching you how to grow, it's teaching you and it's helping you grow as a person.
Completely. Yeah.
Just like you have an 8-year-old, and there's a lot of things that your 8-year-old does not know how to do. He doesn't know how to drive a car yet. Does that mean there's something wrong with him? Does that mean he's broken? No. He's probably not very wise yet, but does that mean there's something wrong with him? No. He's a learning, growing human being. That's me, that's you, that's everybody. You're still learning and growing, and it just so happens that one of the places that a lot of us are learning and growing in is around food and body. It's just the way humanity is designed. Food and body teaches us a lot. Our diseases teaches us a lot. Our challenges with pain and suffering and getting ill teaches us a lot. Our challenges around weight and food and overeating and emotionally, it teaches us a lot. So you're learning as opposed to, oh, I'm still broken and I got to fix myself. Because then it's going to always be trying to catch up. And no, you've just been learning and you're still learning. And you've already acknowledged that you've come a long way. I think it's so important for you to remember that. So important for you to remind yourself because your head is so filled with what you haven't done that you don't take enough time, I don't think, to acknowledge what you have done.
Yeah. And well, I've done a lot.
You've done a lot. That would be a great journaling exercise for you. Yeah. You know, a great journaling exercise would be to just write an inventory of all the good things you've done for yourself over the years to help move forward your relationship with food and your relationship with your body. All the things you've done that have helped you become a better person and helped you grow. It's not about solving weight. Oh, just let me figure out how to lose. We think it's about that. Make it, okay, I just got to lose these 7 kilos. Everything's going to be great. So we frame the problem in a way that it's not really the problem. And then we organize our life around that. And the reality is what you're really trying to do is just step into your fullness and step into your power as a human being and step into your potential. And you are doing that. You continue to do that. You're doing that right now. You'll do it when we finish. So important to acknowledge that and look for ways where you can bless your past. Yeah. Meaning, this has just been my journey. Difficult as it's been, this is my journey, and I'm not going to make it wrong. This is the way your soul is chosen to learn and grow.
And for a long time, I felt guilt and shame for my past, for some things, toxic relationships, bad decisions, using drugs, some behaviors I was not proud of. And why did I do that? I was so stupid. Why can't I see that happening, but I'm forgiving myself for my past, and I'm accepting that as a lesson, as you said. And I'm more peaceful with that. And was an adventure for me, everything.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was chasing for adventure and excitement. So I had it
Yes.
in the wrong way sometimes, but I had it.
And that's what we do when we're young,
Yeah.
oftentimes. And that's how we learn. You know, a lot of times we learn and it's a positive learning, and sometimes we learn and it doesn't feel so positive, but regardless, we're learning and you're taking lessons from those experiences, and you're a wiser person for it.
Yeah.
You're a better mother for everything
Yeah.
that we've gone through. So you're going to understand your child better as he gets older and older because you've gone through your own journey. And one of the great things you can do for your son is to just do your own internal cleaning, do your own internal forgiving. And I would love for you to start to think that you don't have a problem with food anymore. And that you're not like, yeah, you want to make your relationship with food better and better. Great. That's different from having a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because you're not really in the problem stage.
Yeah. No, not anymore.
Yeah. So and the one little problem that's left is that lingering belief that we talked about,
It's true.
which is driving everything else. So you're able now. So now that we've identified, here's the belief that's organizing your behavior and driving your behavior. Oh, that belief doesn't work for me. So that's going to require you letting go in a way of a certain dream. Because it's been a dream. You know, if I look perfect, then I'm going to be perfect and life is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's a dream from the princess archetype. It's a dream that the world gives us. Again, you didn't invent that dream. It's in every Disney movie practically that you've seen since you've been a child. That you got these young, skinny, beautiful princesses with great singing voices having these amazing lives and amazing adventures and getting the prince or the guy or the whatever they get. And you're at a stage in your life where you can now let go of that. And there's going to be a certain sort of mourning or almost a certain grief because that's been a friend. It's almost like it's a person and you're in relationship with it.
Completely. Yes. It's before my son, I think was my primary relationship.
Yes. So it should not be your primary relationship anymore.
For sure.
And for sure you've been downsizing it, but now it's time to downsize it even more and make it a tiny whisper that occasionally pops up instead of letting it sit at the head of the table and make all the decisions and make all the choices. So part of letting go of that is going to be a certain kind of grief and a certain kind of, I wish I spoke Portuguese, it's a certain kind of reckoning, a certain kind of coming to terms with yourself that, yeah, that's a nice dream as dreams go. I mean, think about it. It's a nice dream. God, if I could just have a certain weight and have a certain body shape, then everything's going to be great. I could do that. I just got to diet and exercise. Whoo, that's wonderful. It's such a great promise. And unfortunately, it's a false promise. It doesn't really work for most people. Very few people, quite frankly. And for the people that it works for, great. But it's a small percentage. And it's not your path anymore.
Yeah.
So this is in many ways, it's you letting go of something you adopted when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
And we didn't really go into your past, but I'm imagining if we spoke more about it, it makes perfect sense to me that, okay, your parents divorcing and you move out on your own when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need a sense of security. You're gonna need something to turn to, and food was it for you.
Yeah, completely.
I would much rather you have turned to food than turn to gambling and lose all your money, or turn to hard drugs and kill yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're going to turn to something, food is not so bad.
I was lucky.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes,
now
yes,
I can see that. And now I can see that. For a long time, I punishing me for that, but now was not so bad.
Well, it was a good strategy because
Yeah.
you needed something
Yeah.
to help you regulate the challenges of your life and of being a young person, and your world is being turned upside down.
And I had toxic relationships with a lot of violence and sex abuse too, and and I turned to food in that relationships, and it helped me in some way.
Yes. So it's completely understandable. It's completely forgivable. And now you don't really turn to food so much. You
No.
think about it, and you're thinking about it because the 7 kilos is driving you to think about it and organize your life around it.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's not who you are. Who you are is not, oh, if you could only lose 7 kilos, then you're going to be the real you. No, this is the real you. Here you are. There's no other real you. This is it. And the real you is a wonderful person who's still learning and growing.
Yeah.
And food,
learning and growing, I'm loving the process, I'm loving everything. And sometimes I think I'm a little addicted to it, to learn more, to grow more, but
yes.
I like it.
Better to be addicted to that than being addicted to being lazy and to not learning and growing. So as addictions go, not so bad.
Yeah.
Not so bad. But I just want to make sure that you're also, as you're learning and growing more and as you're doing work on yourself, I just want to make sure that you balance that with acknowledging your successes and acknowledging how much you've learned and how far you've come and the different ways that you've grown as a person, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a stewardess, whatever. Like, what are the ways that you've grown as a person, and really start to acknowledge that and feed yourself that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise what you've been feeding yourself is, I still have 7 kilos to lose. I'm still not there. I'm still not there. I'm still not there. And let's substitute that with, oh, wow, look at these things that I've done. Look at how far I've come. Look at the good things I've done for myself. Look at the good things I'm doing for myself. So you're not coming from a place of lack when we think like that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marc. That's it. That's it. I have work to do, but thank you for your words.
Yes, we all have work to do, and this is your particular work in this place, and it's beautiful work, and life wouldn't give you this work if it didn't think you could handle it. So I think there's a wisdom to everything that's been going on for you. And there's a higher power, a higher wisdom, just guiding your journey, and to really start to trust that and really see that you're ready to put this behind you. So So I'd love for you to come away with that. You're going to really keep poking with a needle that belief called, I've got to lose 7 kilos. No, here's your body. This is it. Pretend that this is your body for the rest of your life. How do you, like a queen in her throne, just sink into it and just own it?
Yeah.
Because when you own your body, you're owning yourself. You're getting present. And when you're owning your body, you can start to be grateful for it. It's hard to be grateful if we're constantly thinking, I can't be grateful for this because it doesn't look right. And it's not the real me. So I have every confidence that you can do this and you can make it happen for yourself, Alexandra.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm confident.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marc.
For this conversation with me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your work. I'm a big fan of your work and of your podcast. And thank you for having me here.
Oh, you are so welcome. I so appreciate it. You've made my day. And for everybody tuning in, thank you as well. And lots more to come, my friends. Take care.
Hey friends, we're so happy that you've joined us for another episode of The Psychology of Eating with Marc David. Are you loving these episodes? Then simply subscribe and you'll never miss an episode again. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a comment below so we can hear more about your own journey with food and body. And if you're curious about what we offer at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, including our internationally acclaimed coach certification training that's rooted in dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition, please head on over to our website, psychologyofeating.com. Until next time, take care. And remember, having the body you want starts with loving the body you have.